So in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the feminine and the masculine energy, because a lot of people get confused. And when you're first starting out in spirituality, if you understand this for your business, this becomes so much more easier. So if you're thinking about becoming a content creator, if you're thinking about becoming an intuitive spiritual business owner, and you're thinking of creating, you want to understand the feminine and the masculine energies within you, because that is your key to unlocking wealth, unlocking money, and also unlocking that balance and that harmony within your life, within your business, within your purpose. Again, if you don't know your purpose, you can go and grab the free purpose finder below. I've dropped it in the description, and then come back here and watch this video. But you need to know your purpose, right? Because even when you're carrying out your purpose, we need to be doing it in both the feminine and the masculine. Now, I'm not talking about genders at all here, and this is what we're going to explain. Everything is energy in our world, right? Everything has atoms and molecules and particles. And every atom and molecule and particle has frequencies to them, right? They vibrate at a certain level. Music, you have different frequencies and they operate at different levels. We're the same in our bodies. We are vibrating, the atoms within us are all vibrating at a particular frequency. Frequency is our consciousness, our awareness. And wherever we take our awareness, our vibration either increases, decreases, stays neutral, all of that stuff, right? And within that frequency, we have a combination of feminine energy and masculine energy. So I'm just going to dive into the differences between the two, how we use them, how they work, so that you can then start applying it in your own life. Now, this works for soulmates, relationships. This is how I manifest all the time. This is how I create my business. Everything stems from the feminine and the masculine within me. And that's the divine within all of us, okay? So, what is the feminine energy? And I've done this in one of my other videos, how to build a spiritual business, and you can go and check that out. I'll link it up here. So, with the feminine, this exists in whatever gender you are, this will exist within you. Whatever gender you are, this will also exist within you, because we are this infinity symbol. We do this loop, right? And here in this little bit in the middle is where we find that sweet spot when we are traveling constantly and vibrating and operating in between both of these. Okay, it's not just one or the other. And there's a time to be in the feminine and a time to be in the masculine. So with the feminine energy, this is all about being and receiving. Okay, so in order to be in this frequency, your body, your mind, your soul has to be in a state of beingness. So when people do meditations and they are just being, when you are laying still in bed and you are just being, when you are creating something for fun, that the initial spark or the idea that comes to you before you start creating, that is receiving and being, right? Because you're receiving the information or the download, the insight, before you move to this side of the masculine. So the being energy, when you are just still, when you're receiving, that's all the feminine energy. And I always use the example of when you're making a baby, the feminine has to receive, right? She has to relax, surrender, and receive something in order to create. The masculine is the one who's doing most of the work, because they are giving, they're expending that energy. When you're in your feminine, you don't actually have to expend as much, you just receive. But again, this is not about genders. This is just to help you understand how this stuff works. So the masculine is the doing and the giving. Okay? So this is how you make money. You might be wondering, why have I got the money symbol up here? Well, as the title might have said, we need the feminine and the masculine to make money. There are lots of videos on YouTube that I've seen recently who are like, get in your feminine energy and manifest more money. And I'm just like, you need the feminine, yes, but you also need the masculine. And I understand why they might have titled it as just the feminine, because the world, the society that we've been living in has been heavily in just doing and giving and doing and giving. But we've blocked out completely being and receiving. People don't even know how to receive and how to just be, right? And this is where we need to do the healing work. We need to heal this toxic masculine that has got us constantly doing, constantly working 9 to 5s when we're absolutely drained and exhausted of giving every ounce of us, and we're not coming back into the being and receiving, right? There has to be the equal balance of a 50-50. Right now, it's probably 90% here and about 10% on a weekend here. And even on the weekend, are you out going and doing stuff still? Are you doing all your chores? Are you cleaning the house? Because that's still not being and receiving. So we need to get in the healthy space of femininity and healthy space of masculinity within us to start making this money, okay? And this is why I call it a spiritual intuitive business, because you're understanding the spiritual principles behind everything that you do. Everything that you do has to have meaning, because if you're doing meaningless action, then you're going to have meaningless results. And that's not what you do, right? Anyone can build any type of business. That's not what we're teaching here. I'm teaching you how to have a purposeful business that brings in alignment with your soul, right? And again, if you haven't watched the how to build a spiritual business video, then you might want to go and check that out if you're liking this already. So with the feminine and the masculine energy, this is how you want to be operating constantly in anything. If it's relationships, you want to be the one receiving downloads, receiving insights from your soul before moving on to this side, right? So now when it comes to money, how do we make money with the feminine and the masculine? So if the feminine is the beingness and the receiving, right? Even if you work a job, you are receiving, but in a job, most jobs, you either receive once a week or once a month. Does that look like balance to you in a job? Pay or your salary is given to you once a week at some places or one time a month. Either way, the total amount of that will be way less than this side, right? So how much hours of work in your job are you putting in to get that pay, to get that salary? Excuse my handwriting, guys. I get excited and then I start writing really messy. You are probably putting, if you're doing full time, it's about 40 hours a week. 40 hours a week. That is 160 a month. Now, anybody, we get the science, we'll put 1 here and we put 160 here. So even if it's if we do one once a month, right? For 160 hours a month here. That is a big difference. Does that look balanced to you? Or is there a massive imbalance where you're heavily in the masculine energy and very under in the feminine energy, right? This is the issue in our current society. This is what needs healing and fixing before you even think about making money in your business. Because, I'll tell you why, a lot of people come into the spiritual business and they're like, I want to be a content creator. I want to start a business. They come to me. I work with clients all the time. And this was me as well once upon a time, right? And this is why I'm teaching this in my new program. You can join the waitlist below, guys. I'm opening it 3 times a year for a small, intimate group of people. If you want to build your business, then check it out below. It's the Easy Intuitive Business Blueprint. So basically, if you come from this, right, because we are conditioned, even if you go to university or not, you're conditioned to take a job. You're not conditioned to go and start a business. Why? Question why, first of all, right? The biggest thing you can do is start questioning why. Because when you do this, in your beingness, when you're sitting there thinking, you can think and just think, why are we conditioned to go into jobs to work for other people for 40 hours a week in our heavy masculine, when females in the feminine cycle, our cycles are 28 days, we're not even built for this type of life, right? Why is it then that we are happy doing this? And those of you who are watching this video are probably like noticing this energy shift and feeling like you don't want to be doing this anymore, which is why you're coming here to a spiritual business to make money. But here's the catch. When you shift and transition from a job into a business, you carry the energetic frequency of this, okay? So when you come and build your business, in the building phase, you'll be carrying trauma from here and trauma from here of. This usually carries under receiving and over giving. This is the trauma we need to heal before starting your business. If we don't heal this, and you can do this as you build, but this awareness in itself can be mind-blowing and so helpful as you build your business, because you can then assess yourself, you can reflect, and you can say, I am overgiving 160, I'm overgiving into my business, and I need to be overgiving here, and not overgiving, but you need to balance it, right? So what I suggest doing is a 50-50 split. So we want to do 50% here, and we want to be doing 50% here, okay? This is what we want to be looking towards, giving ourselves to bring the balance in. So when you then start your spiritual business, and let's put spiritual, because we're not just starting any business, right? We're doing it from our spirit. We have to listen to our soul's voice. We want to be spending if you're setting up a timetable, if you're setting up, I don't believe in business plans, guys. It's not how I teach. I just say go into it with your sole purpose. So once you find your purpose, again, find or know your main purpose. Again, I've got my free purpose finder. You can grab it below, guys. And then when you find or know your purpose, like the arena that you're going to be hanging out with, you can be and receive. You can set an intention of receiving. That's all you need to do. This is the spiritual aspect. You're going to spend 50% of your time here. And this can be very difficult when you're first starting because you're so used to this trauma of, oh, I need to be doing stuff. When you sit, you'll be like, I'm not making money. I'm going to be broke. All of these things will come up, and I'll do another video on this, of all the limiting beliefs from this trauma that will come up. And it's coming up so that you can heal it, right? We're not going to ignore that. We're going to do something about it. We're going to shift. And there's a whole other video that I'm going to do on the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind needs to get moved beyond this by new experiences and new action steps. And this is where you set the intention. You will then start to receive downloads, new ideas, inspiration, and excitement. This will come from your soul. This is your soul's voice, okay? When you get this, then you will move to this side, because this when these start coming through, this will be evidence for you that you've been in your 50% of your feminine energy, because you have received. And when I say you get downloads and new ideas, you haven't sat there with a mind map and gone, what can I create my business on? No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's doing. Again, this, when you get the ideas, the insights, it's from doing nothing. It's from meditating, it's from receiving, it's from doing exercise, yoga, light meditation, whatever feels like beingness to you, where your body is relaxing and you're able to receive. That's when you get these downloads, and that is your soul's voice, right? And when you set that intention purposefully with your purpose, once you've found that out in my soul purpose finder, then we move over to this 50% and we start to take what's called inspired action. We don't just take mindless action. This is inspirational action that's inspired by your soul. This is why it's a spiritual business, okay? When you take that inspired action, now you're going to spend 50% of your time here for a little while, and you're going to take action. So you'll start the building, you'll start creating from these ideas, you'll start learning. Learning is also part of doing, okay? And when you come to a stop, because every single time that you're in one of these zones, when you start going from 50 to 55%, 60%, you'll start to feel your body start to shut down a bit. You'll start to feel burnt out. That's a symptom, okay? Burnt out, tired, grouchy, angry. These are all symptoms, and I can give you symptoms of these. I'll do another video. Comment below if you actually like these and you want to know the symptoms or the signs. I'll do another video, but for the purpose of this, you'll notice as you start tipping into any of these energies, you know, okay, I've done my 50% now. I'm feeling a bit stuck. Don't stay in the stuckness. Majority of people that I work with, they decide to stay here, and then they get even more lost and they come into like this pickle. This is how their brains look. When we do our work, we come back here and we get clarity. And again, they're like, oh my God, I feel so good because I'm back in my feminine. And then once they've got new ideas and stuff from spending a bit more 50% time they have here, then they move back across. And that's why I say we are constantly coming on this side and then on this side and then on this side and then on this side. And you have to get used to this infinity symbol. This is the loop that you want to be in, okay, for the most amount of success. This is what will bring your money and will continue to grow, because you're constantly in this infinite loop, okay? That is your feminine, that's your masculine, that's how you operate it. And I'm going to do loads more videos like this, but if you enjoyed this one, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, sign up below for the free purpose finder and my waitlist, and I'll catch you in the next video. Mwah!